Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for the final episode of Helstrom, season 1, and I'm going to do episodes 4 through 10. That's right, I did finish the series out because I was just kind of curious as to where this thing was going, and I'll get to that in a minute. Before I get started here, I'm going to do a little bit of plugging, and then we'll get to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video at the very end here. Basically, YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down there. If you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you get the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I put up there. I change it out every week. Also, all the links to my social media are there. So Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon. No tiers set up in the Patreon. I'm waiting until I hit 1,000 subscribers. That way I can give you guys something if you're going to give me money. I also have links to this YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and for those of you who still have Facebook, a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. There we go. So, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the rest of this series. If you haven't seen it, good for you. Or you can go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. That's all I'm just going to say about that. So yeah, I made the mistake of finishing it off and just seeing where this fucking thing was leading to, because it was aggravating me, quite honestly, and for good reason. It's not that the acting was bad. The actors have did what they could with what they were given, quite honestly, and kudos to them. They deserve to be in a series that is actually going to help them, quite honestly, with the writing rather than hurt them with the wishy-washiness of the writing. And this suffered a lot from lostitis. Basically, we'll make this shit up as we go along, and we'll change shit along the way as well. So one of the things is a keeper is supposed to be a demon or an entity or whatever, because of course they haven't nailed that down yet either in the entire rest of the series, saying that it's a demon that supposedly turned against its own kind and will can trap other demons, basically. Well, Yen, who is Anna's Girl Friday, I guess you could say, ends up turning into a fucking keeper by the end. Why? We don't know. It just is. Also, the blood that we have, that we keep talking about, that the Vatican is afraid of and doesn't want anything to do with, turns out to just be a big group of people seeking revenge. What do they do if they think that you're possessed? They put you in a fucking coma. That's it. That's all they do. They don't do any research as to why this shit's happening, how they can stop it. Nothing like that. All they do is like, oh, it looks like you're possessed, but no, I'm not. I just have a seizure. They put you in a coma and you're out for the rest of your life until you die. Because if you kill somebody, it releases the demon or entity or whatever it is. Again, hasn't been specified throughout the entire fucking series. It gets released back out into the wild and can inhabit somebody else again. But you need to have a higher up demon entity, whatever you call it, mark a human in order for these things to enter someone. Okay. So this whole series, this whole season was supposed to be about Daddy coming home, right? Daddy doesn't come home until literally the final moments at the end of the credits of the final episode. And it's played by Mitch Pileggi, the great Mitch Pileggi. And yeah, it's such a letdown, quite honestly. It just becomes Cathara, the whatever that's inhabiting Anna and Damon's mom. She ends up getting rebirthed as a child or a baby, and is accelerated because basically Gabriella ends up going from 0 to pregnant in a birth in about 24 hours. Yes, so this does have a pregnancy within this as well. I mean, these are such old, tired trope ideas that it's just bad. I mean, it's completely bad. At one point, they even throw out the name of these demon entities, whatever, being Shadowkind. And it's like, okay, and this is literally in episode 9 that they throw this out, and it's like, okay, you haven't used that word in the entire time that we've, had here, and you throw it out now. And it just wasn't thought out. It really wasn't thought out. And granted, it could just be that Jeff Loeb knew that this was his last hurrah and had got the money, knew that he had to do something quickly, and just did it and said, "Well, think of the details later." And it really hurt this whole series. And then the knife that for some reason they don't. I mean, there's shit that isn't explained. So Mother is supposedly going to start a war against the oppressors. Who are the oppressors? We don't know. We don't know why she wants to have this war. We have an entire season, and she only mentions this war literally in episode 7 or 8, somewhere around there, and against the oppressors. And it's like, why? We don't know why, because she never gets a chance to answer that. So, I mean, it's like, why are you doing all of this? What is going on? And then also, it's implied at some point that all human beings end up becoming these demons or entities or whatever after they die. And then it kind of goes away too, that whole it's so wishy-washy and so non-committal as to what the fuck is going on in this series. It just pissed me off to that point. Um, I know there's those of you out there who like the series. That's great. I couldn't stand that there was no firm ground on this whatsoever. Nothing was explained. You even changed the name of the main character from Damien to Damon, and then from Hellstorm to Hellstrom. So with two L's, Hellstorm. Yeah. Uh and yeah, Penn, it's not worth your time on this one. It really is not. The actors, like I say, are great in it, but the execution of the story, it's the writing. There's no set. Normally, when you're doing a TV show like this, they do a Bible, is what it's called, and you set things in stone. You explain it to the audience at the beginning as to what the fuck is going on, and you have it set as to the idea of what you're going to do and what the characters are, what the world is, all that kind of stuff. And this had nothing. You could tell nothing was set. They were doing this by the seat of their pants, and it's not going to get a second season. You can totally tell this is not getting a second season. It would be an act of whatever in order to get a second season out of this. Disney is the one that's funding it, and they, of course, own Hulu, uh, the majority of Hulu, I should say. And unless Comcast or NBC Universal, which owns Comcast now, decides that they want to do it, which I highly doubt, considering that ABC is the one that owns these characters now, or Marvel Studios or Marvel TV or whatever it is it's under right now. It's not going to happen. It's really not going to happen. And honestly, I've heard zero buzz about this whatsoever. No one's talking about this show. It came and went and disappeared. That's how bad it is. And again, I want to reiterate, it's not because of the actors. The actors are actually damn good. They work with what they've got, and they do, they really do work with what they've got there. It's just the writing's bad, the story is bad, the whole setup is bad, and it stinks of Jeff Loeb. I mean, you could totally tell it's him. And I mean, it's just got 90s written all over it. That's how bad it is. It's shit that even was bad in the 90s that people were going, really? You're going with that? And yeah, it's horribly, horribly bad. Stay as far away from it as you can. It's going to crash and burn. It's not as bad as Inhumans. It's not Inhumans bad, but it's still fucking bad. So there we go. My rant is now done on that one. It was kind of like I expelled a demon. I exorcised it from my it came up from the diaphragm and out. There we go. It's gone. At least I didn't throw it up, which I could have, quite honestly, but I'm not going to. So for those of you who did watch it, what did you guys think? I mean, Joe, I know you've seen it. Uh, what I think you liked it, right? If I'm not mistaken, or am I mistaken on that one? And honestly, I'm not going to attack you if you liked it or not. I just kind of want to know what people's opinions are. I don't attack people for what their opinions are. So, unless of course it's for Inhumans, because Inhumans was god awful, and rightfully so. Joe, are you still there? Paging Joe Greer? No? Okay. Well, then. So what else do I have going on the rest of this week? Tomorrow is gonna be a little bit of a switch. I am gonna be doing Is It Worth My Time? And oh, you did see it? Oh, you're multitasking? Okay. Um well, let me go through my spiel here. Tomorrow is gonna be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's gonna be the movie that I forgot was out there, and I was gonna see it because of the title alone. And it's on Hulu. It's called The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot, starring Sam Elliott, by the way. So yeah, I'm gonna review that one, and Is It Worth My Time tomorrow. Wednesday and Thursday, I'm gonna be off. Excuse me. Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm gonna be off. That's right. Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm gonna be off. Thursday, I come back with another episode of Is It Worth My Time? I don't know what I'm gonna do as of yet on Thursday. Friday will be The Mandalorian, of course. Saturday will be another episode of is Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the week and any other genre stuff you guys want to talk about, and we talk about it. Sunday right now is kind of up in the air, so I might just leave that blank for right now. We'll see. So there we go. That's what's going on there. That's on your list too, Pen. Yeah. So yeah, I completely forgot about it. Then it popped up right after Helstrom. I'm like, oh yeah, I wanted to see that. So yeah, I actually saw that. Joe Greer says I might finish watching. Oh, you might finish watching Helstrom. Yeah, I'll warn you right now, man. It's bad. I know Raymond K. Hessel warned me that I was going to piss me off at the end, and he was so on the money about it. Yeah, it just I was just like fucking screaming at some of the stuff. I'm like, yeah, because they disregard their own stuff that they already have set up, and it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. People are flying around on wires at points. There's liberal use of flames, and yeah. Uh, and I'll say this much too. There was a bit of bad acting on Ariana Guerrera's part. She plays the nun near the end, and it's kind of comical. And I think it's just because it's such an abrupt switch in her character that I don't think she knew how to handle it, and it comes off kind of like, uh, you know, um, I want to say it's kind of like Bill and Ted, where they're in the old west and they're playing cards, and Bill tells Ted, "Dude, you have to have a poker face like me." When he does this weird face, that was kind of the face that Ariana Guerrera did for the end of it. And I was just like, wow, yeah, that was pretty bad. And I think it's just because her character switched so much there. Joe Greer says I get hooked on international Netflix shows very easily. Okay. Joker says I want more of Fox. The Fox's The Exorcist. I heard good things about that. I just never got a chance to watch it. I'm not really a huge Exorcist fan either, so it's not, you know. Oh man, sorry, just thirsty. But that's it in a nutshell. I kind of figured this was going to end, and I kept my promise. 4 episodes, it was done. I figured I'd finish up the rest of the series and let you guys know just how bad it truly was, and it was bad. Yeah, it was bad. Yeah. I had to watch a few other things in order to just cleanse my palate and get rid of it. I really had to exercise myself of that whole and, you know, it still just kind of pisses me off. They didn't say that if they're demons, entity, you know, they even go wishy-washy in the very first episode when they say, well, demon entity, whatever you want to call it, is what Damon says. And I'm like, so you're not even going to go with the, you know, the whole hell aspect, heaven, hell, son of Satan, you know, all this kind of stuff. You're not going to go with that at all. All right, great. So you basically just told us right there in a nutshell what the fuck was going to happen, that you weren't going to follow the comics at all. So, man, yeah, I can keep ranting on about it, but I'm not going to. Instead, I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down there. And if you're down there too, if you can, hit that like button and the share button too. There's someplace down there. I don't know where they're at. I'm just kind of pointing at random. If you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you can hit the bell down below. Again, someplace over here. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule up there. I change it out every week. Also, all the links to my social media are there. So Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. Also, the link to this YouTube channel, my Facebook page. And for those of you who still have Facebook, a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. So I'm going to let you guys go. Until tomorrow, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may wind up in a badly written TV show where you're required to fly around on wires and occasionally burst into flames, because that's what happens. Thanks everyone. Have a good night and take care. Stay well. Be well. And stay safe. There we go. Now I knew what I was going to say. Thanks everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.